was great fun in these days, flying around. You could actually enjoy it. And have a few drinks.
Apart from if you have trouble with the bowels.
Well, this was an exceptional day once.
You've got to tell that sofa.
Oh, God. All right. We were travelling from New York to New Zealand via LA. So we set off full of the joys of life. We had a few drinks on the first leg of the flight. We got to LA and they said to us, well, we're very sorry, your flight to New Zealand is delayed 7 hours. However, we would like you to come up to the first class lounge and have what you like, which was, of course, enormous quantities of champagne. We hadn't eaten either, I must mention this. So after 7 hours of drinking champagne, we get on these lovely fur-lined seats they had on Air New Zealand in these days and sat down. I was feeling a bit windy. I thought I'd let one go, you know. Of course, I followed through. Absolutely the most ghastly thing at the beginning of a 17-hour flight, you know. I thought, oh no, you know. And I was sitting there next to Oni, the guitarist, and I said, Oni, you're not going to believe it. I said, I've shit myself. And he said, what? And he started laughing. And he laughed so hard he shit himself. Bubbling champagne, you know. I mean, I spent the most of the flight in the toilet, sort of contorting and trying to clean up the like that. It was awful. A really bad one. I'm glad these cameras are off.
Yeah, they're off. Although that one seems to be wearing away though.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing, actually, Molly.
Oh no.
Yeah, thinking about it. Well, it wasn't. I didn't follow through, but I was playing with. Do you know Midge? Being a Scotsman, you would know Midge.
Yeah.
And we'd been out. In fact, I'd been out with Leo in Australia, and then ended up meeting Midge in Singapore to do a gig with Midge in Singapore. It was part of the return journey. And I said I could stop off there and we can do this festival. It was a WOMAD festival.
Yeah.
And of course, in those days, Midge doesn't drink anymore. Of course, I mean that's no secret. But you know, he was drinking a bit in those days, and we all had a few drinks, and it had just gone on and on and on and on and on. And funnily enough, one of the guys that was a big fan of the Midge band was a pilot for Singapore Airlines or Malaysian Air or one of those. Yeah. And I'd spoken to him the night before and I said, is there any chance you can upgrade me because I'm flying back to London tomorrow? And I was flying on a different airline to the other boys who were on BA and I'd already done the Australian bit.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll see what I can do. Had my mobile number and it was 6:30 in the morning. And I had a flight at 9:30 or something and we'd been up all night. Yeah. So I went to my room, thought I'll just have a 10-minute lie down. Banging on the door, taxi's waiting for her to go to the airport. So I had a pair of jeans and a white t-shirt. It was covered in red wine. And I was unshaven, I looked like death. Yeah. And my room looked like it had exploded, you know, and I had stuff all over the place. I just bought some Singapore cheap electronics and all that stuff. Oh no, what am I going to do? Still drunk, so I shoveled it all together. On my way to the airport, the phone rang, and it was this guy, the pilot friend, saying, when you get to Kuala Lumpur, you will be flying first class. So none of it went in at all. So I didn't even know where I was going. So I got on a plane, so gave them the ticket and went to some gate, and before I knew it, I was back at another airport. So I hadn't thought that, you know, there was a connecting flight. Didn't know, you know, when at that point I had no idea what was going on. Got on the connecting flight, and I was sitting next to this lady, and I must have really smelled. I let off a horrible pop, you know, the whole thing. And before you know it, this beautiful stewardess came up to me and she said, Mr. Phillips? And I said, yes. Yes. She said, the pilot wants to see you. And I said,
why, because I'm stinking?
What have I done? None of it had gone in, the whole point. And so I said, where? She said, well, follow me. So I went, it was a bubble, you know, it was a 747, got up into the top. And the pilot said, I'm a friend of Shafiz, the pilot, and he told me to give you a call, and would you like to take off in the cockpit? I said, "Sure, fine." So I'm sitting in the cockpit, covered in wine, hair everywhere, stinking, no socks on,
Oh, of course
just
not.
a pair of shoes, no socks, jeans covered in curry or something.
Yeah.
And took off in this plane. And after about 20 minutes, he said, "Listen, there's only 6 people in first class. Please be our guest, and you can stay." So I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "What about my bag?" "No, don't. Well, that will be taken care of." So the next thing, I'm now sitting in the bubble, thinking, I don't actually know what I've got to do up here. I don't know how to make the seat recline or anything, because there's a sort of businessman there in his suit and tie, and he's sort of stirring his cocktail. Or I'm sitting thinking, I'm going to be sick in a minute. I'm going to be sick. Red wine everywhere. I'm sure. So what I need to do is go to the toilet. And this was the point where obviously you looked like Mr. Bean or something, because I remember standing up and banging my head really hard on the overhead locker, falling back down again on the floor, going, and it went from bad to worse. The stewardess said, the stewardess, remember, she came up to me and said, "How would you like to be addressed?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?"
Jeans and t-shirt.
"What do you mean? Have I got the wrong clothes on?" And she said, No. She said, "You're Mr. Flynn." I said, "Just call me Josh. It's fine, call me Josh, it's fine." So after about 20 minutes or so, the wine list came round. And I thought, I can't have any more. I daren't drink any more. But of course you do.
Yeah.
Had another glass of. And then decided I really needed the toilet.
Yeah.
And I said to the stewardess, "Excuse me, where's the toilet?" I said, "It's just up there, sir." The screen was down for the film. And I didn't realise that there was a toilet before the screen and a toilet after. And obviously you've got to go to the toilet before. It's only a little cabin, isn't it, the first class bit. I kind of belly danced under the screen. I was climbing under it.
Limbo.
Limbo, sorry. Limboed under this thing. Under the screen. Screen's all wobbling. And then, of course, I come out of the toilet, still being drunk. Can't find my seat because there's a screen in the way. So I'm going, bashing on this screen. First class. Right. And I've arrived at and then crashed out for 10 hours.
Oh.
Arrived at Heathrow, and my now wife said, "You look remarkable." Well, she looked at me and said, "What has happened to you?" She said, "You seem remarkably okay." I said, "Yeah, I've flown first class all the way home.
Oh, yeah.
No hangover, it all gone, It all gone."
That's perfect.
We wouldn't do that anymore. Are we allowed to do that?
No, absolutely
Not allowed anywhere near anything, are you?
No.
There's terrorists and musicians.
Yeah.